What's the communication skill that's most effective with dealing with highly paid athletes and NFL franchises?
Knowing your stuff. Communicating is important. Really understanding the market, understanding what your client brings to the table, what the team brings to the table, understanding the positions of both sides. I think that's where I get frustrated kind of with culture and where we are right now is we tend to look only at our side and not really take the time to understand the other positions. And as a negotiator, I need to not only be confident in the demand that I'm making and why my player is worth X, Y, and Z. I need to understand where the team's coming from, why they don't think my player is worth X, Y, and Z, why they have their reasons, they have their numbers, they have their rationales, they have the personalities, and understanding how to reach an agreement with the different types of personalities. You have to know your stuff and you have to know people. So those are the two main things that I think fuels good communication is knowledge, preparation, knowing your stuff, and knowing people.
Is there a critical juncture in that negotiating process that has to be done in person versus exchanging emails, looking at legal documents, that sort of thing?
I've always found that in-person communications are needed and much more effective. We accomplish a lot of negotiations now happen strictly by phone and email, and that's just a fact, especially during this time when we haven't been traveling. But I know this, and I'll use one of my player negotiations as an example. We spent months, the team and I, going back and forth on numbers, on terms, on structure, and we're still pretty far apart. And we didn't start really figuring out that we could get a deal done until we met face-to-face in Indianapolis at the Combine. And it took me sitting down eyeball to eyeball with the leadership, showing them not just on an email, but showing them, here's why. Here are the comparisons. Here's the market. Here's why my offer makes sense. And they got to not just read numbers on a paper, but read my body language, and we could actually talk things out. They could see the sincerity and the passion that I had about our position, as well as they also saw that I conceded on some of their points too. And that's a skill you learn, obviously to become a great negotiator, you pick up skills over the years of negotiating, but making the other side think that you are giving them concessions, even though you knew where they stood, and held on to some things probably longer because of that. And so I really value in-person communication. I've seen how effective it is.